Hey guys, welcome back to the garage. Recently I just picked up this Dewalt 12-inch sliding double bevel compound miter saw, and I previously had a Craftsman 12-inch compound miter saw, sliding miter saw, and I recently just sold it, and once I get this thing unboxed, I'll kind of go over why I sold it and the difference in features. But just giving you a quick idea what this comes in for packaging right now. This is, you can see in the lower left corner of the top, on the top of the box, that it's a DWS779. This is on sale right now around where I live. I believe Dewalt is discontinuing this model and it's being replaced by the DWS780, which is a very similar saw. It just has a couple different features, mainly being the light where it shadows the blade over your work to basically project where the blade's going to cut. This saw does not have that feature. So on a couple of videos I watched, one was a comparison, they did an unboxing, and one fellow had mentioned that it wasn't packaged very properly. It didn't have a lot of foam or nothing in it. I disagree with that. Let me get this opened up and I'll show you why. All right guys, so once the box is open, this is what you're gonna see. All the parts on the upper side of the picture here are related to the table extensions for the saw, with the exception being on the upper right side. That's a clamp for the workpiece that you're gonna be cutting. There's a little small bag of hardware right below that. And then this piece of styrofoam just pulls right out of the top, which I'll do. And this is what you'll see directly below that piece of styrofoam. So the saw is fully encapsulated in styrofoam. So the review I read kind of made it sound like it was kind of just flopping around in the box, and that's certainly not the case with what I found. And again, here's a photo with the saw removed from the box itself. So again, fully encapsulated with styrofoam. All right guys, so once you pull the saw out of the box, this is the shape it's gonna be in, or should be in, hopefully it'll be in. They do have it in the 60-degree position here. The head is locked down. They have a little bit of styrofoam here on the slides themselves for protection. The cord is wrapped up, it's also in a bag. And then on this side, they do have a styrofoam wedge in there to, hopefully alleviate some transport issues with this, bouncing around or whatever. So the review I saw made it seem like it wasn't packaged very well, and I would disagree with that. I think it's packaged just fine. I wouldn't hesitate to have this thing shipped to my house at all the way it's packaged. I think it would be just fine. So the main reason why I got rid of my Craftsman and went to something like this is simply because the table lock mechanism they use. So you'll notice here with this Dewalt, and there's other manufacturers that use a very similar setup as this. This has the detents machined into a separate plate, which is attached via these screws to the base. If your angles are off, you can loosen these screws and move this plate around on the base, fasten it back down, and hopefully that corrects your angles. The Craftsman, these detents were machined into the aluminum base or magnesium base, whatever this is. It didn't have a separate plate, and it was off just slightly. So it also didn't have this nice of a lock on it. DeWalt uses this cam lock here. That is in the lock position. To release it, you simply pull it up, use your thumb, and press this to release the detent. With the Craftsman, you release the detent with your finger underneath, and it had a knob that you turn, which had a threaded rod that went through the table, and it would butt right against and tighten up against the base. The problem with that is, in this 4 or 5 inches, that rod would deflect. So as you're tightening it up, it would kind of walk, and the table would turn a little bit. It was really, really cumbersome to try to get the angles down right where you wanted it. God forbid you had to move the damn thing. It was another 10, 15 minutes down the drain farting around with it. So the last time I used it, I finally just got fed up, and I posted it for sale and sold it right away. It was clean, good shape and everything. So, and then being that these are on sale now, this is a much better unit in my opinion. So let me get this thing opened up and we'll go over some more features. Here I've got it out and opened up, and we'll go over quick features. One thing I want to go over quick is the switch. There is a little lock that you got to grab with your finger, pull it forward before you can go ahead and grab the switch. The switch, very firm, very positive action in and out. I have no issue with that whatsoever. Seems like a quality piece there. This is the lock for the head. There is grease on here. Most of the components of the saw are grease, which is, they should be, right? I mean, There's no reason why they shouldn't be, but it is nice to see the grease on it. Grease here. They had grease the slides. Slides to travel back and forth real nice. No issue there. It seems, you know, no slop, no play. Seems pretty well put together. This little dial here on the back, just runs down and just stops the travel for the slide in whatever position you want. You just simply just loosen that and tighten that as needed. Large scale on the back for the bevel. That's nice. There's dual indicators. There's an indicator on both sides of the saw. On the back side, there's a little lock. It's got a little detent. You simply spin that. It's sort of got a cam on it. And then there's a nice big knob on the back side that loosens up to allow the head to bevel. Very nice. You just reach back there to be able to grab it, no problem. I like that. I like how it's you know, nice and large enough to just grab a hold of it. The upper fence portions do slide in and out. And those are held in place by this screw right here. On this side of the head, here's the lock for the blade change. And then you'll notice on the back side, there is, right here, there is a vacuum port. Looks to be about 1.5 inches or 1.25 inches, maybe, I guess. And that tube travels straight through the saw through this opening here, which is intended to collect the sawdust. However, I've read and I could see why that's not going to work all the best. I mean, it'll certainly help, but it's very, very difficult to collect the dust off the saw. Maybe there's another manufacturer that has a better system or not, I don't know. But overall, I'm pretty happy with it so far. I haven't cut anything with it yet, but it seems to be well made, in my opinion. I definitely like the cam lock on the saw. Do pay attention though, because I did find a 779 that did have a threaded knob here. So when I was looking around for them, I did see one that did, and everything I read said that they don't, but maybe it was an older model, I'm not sure, but pay attention to that too. Make sure you got one with a cam lock, because this is a sweet setup. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one.